Hi everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. It has been, I think, like 2 weeks. It is Friday, January 5th, so we are actually finally on the other side in 2024, so happy new year. I unfortunately got sick. I still feel like I sound a little bit congested, not too bad, but maybe that's just the way that I feel like I sound. But I did spend the holidays sick. So when I last left you, I was heading to Portugal to celebrate Christmas with my family. Now, we got there and my parents ended up getting sick literally like 2 days into the trip, which then led me to get sick. And surprisingly, nobody else got sick on the trip. It was just me and my parents. I started to feel a little bit better before we came home, but then as we came home, Andrew got it. So then he was sick for a few days, and I think, was just run down from the trip and everything. So we ended up actually going to bed on New Year's Eve at what I think was like 7 p.m. So we had a great fun time celebrating. I think we are going to celebrate this weekend actually, because I did buy a bottle of champagne to celebrate, but of course we were sick and on medicine and everything, so we didn't feel up to it. But enough of that. End of our trip, we did have a full day in London. Obviously, I was not feeling too great, but we did kind of get up and spend the majority of the day in the city. I was going to film it, but obviously I wasn't feeling up to it, so I did not bring my camera. However, Andrew so kindly filmed some clips, and I actually just put them onto my computer to edit them, and he has a full like 5 minutes of what we did that day in London, so I will insert that here in just a second and maybe do a little bit of a voiceover. But we had a really lovely day. Although I wasn't feeling too great, I still think we made the most of it. Towards the end, I definitely was getting tired, and I think he was too, and we were kind of ready to head home. But we still had a really fun day. We checked out a few spots that I definitely want to go back to. But when I tell you that London was busy, it was busy. We've been a few times now, but I've never seen it like that. I guess it was the day before New Year's Eve, so people who were in town to celebrate with the fireworks and everything that they were doing in the city were definitely there out shopping, so it was definitely very overwhelming, but we found some really nice spots to check out, so I will insert that here now. And then after that, I did want to kind of just jump on the little bandwagon going on right now and share my ins and outs for 2024. I have kind of written everything down in my little notebook here. I don't have too much, but I thought it'd be fun to share, and then also I feel like that helps me be held accountable, and then I think it would be kind of cool to look back at the end of the year to see what I did and didn't do and help me plan for the following year as well. So without further ado, let's jump in to our day in London. So we started the morning getting the train from Gatwick Airport into the city. Before we did that, grabbed some hot chocolates from Cafe Nero, which is right outside of our hotel that we were staying at in the airport. We also picked up some sausage rolls that were delicious. After that, we made our way to the Covent Garden area. It was really nicely decorated with all the Christmas decorations, and as we walked in, they actually had snow blowing out and then had a couple different street performers that people were watching, so it was really nice to wander around. It was still really busy, but we tried to make our way around where we could. We kind of left this area and went into the streets. I was on the hunt to find the store Ghani, as I really wanted to get a beanie as it was quite cold and my baseball cap was not doing it. I did find these really cute shoes that I wanted, but they were way out of my price range for a pair of shoes, but I'm definitely going to keep my eye out online to see if they go on sale. We thought this dinosaur was really funny. You'll see the girl in the video talking to him. She was asking him if he misses his friends and family. We thought that was really funny, and there was a ton of people watching in the background. After that, we headed up to the Opera House. We had seen on YouTube earlier that week this little bar area, so I grabbed a mulled wine and Andrew grabbed a mulled apple cider with Jameson. Had some really nice views. I can imagine it's going to be really pretty at nighttime with all the Christmas lights, and it was surprisingly not busy for the amount of people that were on the streets down below. We came across these ballerina shoes that were really nicely decorated and little art pieces that were really cute. And then this, I guess, is where they host lunch or dinner when they have shows happening. Really cute venue. After that, we went into Astor de Meaux just to check out their jewelry collection. I was actually supposed to bring a bracelet with me to get refixed, but I ended up leaving it in Florida by mistake. But I still went in there just to check out all of their jewelry. After that, we wandered around a little bit and kind of came across a few little different alleyways. Along with that, we came across a food hall. The food hall was called Cucumber Alley. I don't know if this is a new spot, but we had definitely not heard of it before, and it was really cute and kind of felt quite new and fresh. We enjoyed some Korean food while we were here, but they had such a wide selection of anything from sushis, burger, pizzas. So we are definitely going to be stopping here next time we are in London. They also had a really cute cheese restaurant that the cheeses were actually going around on a conveyor belt, and you could just grab as you wish to what cheeses you would want to enjoy. We tried to get in there, but they actually were reservation only. After that, we checked out this vintage store. They actually had a couple biker jackets from the Daytona Beach Biker Week that actually is not too far from where we live, so we thought that that was quite funny. And then we stopped in this little craft beer pub. Craft beer is not as popular in Europe and England as it is in America, so we always kind of find it fun to find these little hole-in-the-wall places and check out their craft beer selection. So we enjoyed that, and then we just wandered around a little bit, making our way over to the area for the Winter Wonderland. But before we did that, Andrew came across a speakeasy bar called Cahoots. Now, this is a really cool bar. It's made in a train station that was actually created back in the day but never utilized. So you are actually walking down the same staircase in the same area that they would have walked down had it been utilized for the trains. It was a really cool vibe. Definitely something that I would recommend checking out if you have not been to London before, or if you're planning to go back anytime soon. I had the best espresso martini that I've ever had, and I'm a big espresso martini drinker, but this was by far the best one that I had enjoyed. I also got to enjoy a ham and cheese and Marmite grilled cheese, as well as some truffle fries. Now we're just making our way to Winter Wonderland. It was a little bit of a trek, but we got to see some Christmas lights on our way over. We saw the Oxford lights and then a few others in the area. It was so busy. You can see in this video the amount of people that are walking the streets, and it was really hard to get through all of the crowds. But we made it over to Winter Wonderland. We had to wait a little bit before we could get in, but it wasn't too bad, and we ended up getting hot chocolate right as we walked in. After we got hot chocolate, we walked around a little bit and came across a beer tent, so we enjoyed some time in there before heading to the train station to head home. So like I said, that was a really fun day. You saw a few snippets here and there, but I think it was really nice. We actually ended up staying in the airport hotel called Block Hotel. We stayed with them on our way over to Portugal actually, because we had a 7 or 8 hour layover, I believe. So we ended up using one of their daily rates, and I think converting it to dollars, it was maybe $70 for the day rate, but that allowed us to rest, take a shower, freshen up, and not be just sitting at a gate or somewhere in the airport. If you've been to Gatwick Airport, you know that it can get quite busy. So that is something I would definitely be recommending to friends or to you guys that are maybe traveling that have a long layover. If one of the airports that you're going to be in has a hotel, definitely check out to see if they have a daily rate. I actually looked it up in advance online. There's a few websites that work with hotels for those rates, so I was able to put in my reservation before we got there, and then I just paid for everything right there and then when we arrived. So that was really nice. So we stayed with them then, and then like I said, on our way back we had a day in London, so we spent 2 nights in that block hotel. Obviously it's a really small hotel room. It is an airport hotel, so it's more for those coming and going times, but we really enjoyed it. The bed was actually really comfortable, and it was more convenient than we thought to travel into the city. It did maybe take us about 45 minutes total, I think, but the train ride was super simple, really easy to navigate. We really didn't have to hop on or hop off as much as we thought we did, and it was really a smooth journey, and the trains were actually not too busy. And we were actually lining up for tickets because we saw a really long line, and we thought that we had to actually purchase a physical ticket, but luckily they did an announcement over the speakers and said that you can use your Apple Pay or your credit card that's on your phone. So it was really easy for that entire day for us to kind of scan and go anytime we wanted to get on the train. So if you're only in London for a short time, I highly recommend that. It was way cheaper than us booking a hotel in the city. We decided to do this kind of last minute, so when I was looking at hotels in London, I really couldn't find anything cheaper than $400 a night. And I'm pretty sure at the airport I spent $120 for a night stay. So way cheaper, was was a lot more cost effective, and like I said, it really wasn't that much of a pain or difficulty to get into the city just for that one day. I think the only downside is if you are shopping or you don't really want to carry around items when you're out all day long, that would only be the downside, is that you can't go to your hotel room and change or drop off bags. But honestly, we knew that we weren't going to be shopping a lot or anything like that, so we just brought what we needed to bring, and then anything that I did buy, I just carried around for the evening. I was a little concerned because I didn't think that we'd be able to get into Winter Wonderland with bags, but luckily we did. I feel like when there's things like that over here, they're a little bit more restrictive with bags or requiring you to have a small clutch or clear bag. But they just did bag checks as you were going through with your ticket, so that was really nice because I was a little bit nervous about that. Before I do my ins and outs of 2024, I did just want to share a few things that we got while we were on our trip. Like I said, we really didn't shop too much, but I did go into a few stores because it's hard not to. So the first store I went to is Ganni or Ghani. I feel like I always hesitate when I say it, but I think it's Ghani. And I have one of their baseball caps, and it was really cold, so I used that as an excuse to buy a beanie. So it was a really cute store. You would have seen it just a second ago. I purchased this one in like the beige color, and oh my gosh, it kept me really warm. It has a really nice second layer on the inside, so I was really nice and warm and toasty. Obviously a little bit more on the pricier side, but this is something that I'll probably keep literally forever, and I really liked the way that it looked. They have a bunch of different colors to pick from, but I thought this would be more of a universal color as I have different color coats and everything like this, so this would pair really nicely. So I put that to good use. I quickly changed from my baseball cap to this hat you probably would have seen in the video. Then I went into the Charlotte Tilbury store. Now, never have I ever seen a makeup store with a security guard out front and a stanchion with a line of people waiting to get into the makeup store. Luckily, when we walked up, we were the first people. There must have been like a quick change of people, so we were the first in line. But that store was a madhouse. I had no idea it was that popular, and that was how it works in London, but I wanted to go in and get a few things, and luckily when we walked in, there was a makeup attendant there who was able to quickly help us, and I kind of knew what I wanted before walking around, so she helped me get everything and avoid all the crowds. So what I did pick up is the Magic Cream. you'll see here. And then I also picked up the Magic Serum. Now these are 2 new items that I've never used before, but I've heard a lot about. So I didn't want to buy the full size, and she recommended buying this little set. So it comes in a little box together, and they're 2 small little sizes, which I think also are perfect for traveling. And also perfect if you've never tried the item before. I think it's always great to get the smaller size, and then if you enjoy it, you can size up. So I obviously don't have the packaging because I have been using them the last few days. So far, so good. I really like it, especially now that it's a little bit cooler outside. My skin does dry up, so I find that these are really, really helpful to keep myself moisturized. And I just love the size and the packaging. So those are the 2 that I got there. I also obviously naturally picked up the Pillow Talk pencil, just in the regular Pillow Talk color. And then I also picked up the lipstick as well, just as a refill. Last year I had picked up one of these, actually, was it last year? Well, no, it would have been 2022. I picked up one of these from Selfridges in our last London trip. And then in Christmas, I bought the little travel set. They did a small lipstick, a small lip gloss, a pencil, and I want to say it was like a lip balm. And it was a really, really cute set. So I actually just ran out of that. So I restocked on these. We also went to the Opera House. Now that was something kind of a little bit spontaneous. While we were in Portugal, we were watching YouTube and we saw that someone went up to the bar there actually and had a few drinks. So we went and done that, and it was really, really, really cute. I think it was the perfect little spot to get a drink. I felt like nobody really knew that it existed. In Covent Garden, it was just full with people everywhere shopping, but I don't think anyone ever really looks up. And it looked like there was a few different like rooftop bars, but this one was really, really nice. Like I said, not crowded at all, and the drinks were not too badly priced. On our way out, we went to the little store that they have there in the Opera House, and we picked up a ornament. Well, actually I ended up picking up 3, but we thought that this was cute. It reminded us of Cooper, and the doggy is wearing a little pair of glasses. So we picked up one for our tree, and then we got one for my mother-in-law, and then one for my parents as well. Next time we go to see them, I will take that with us. But I thought that it was really, really cute. It's also handmade, which I thought was fun. Let me see. It's sustainably handmade in Nepal. So it's a group of women that make all these ornaments, and it gives you all the details here on this card. It's a little bit pricey. It was 14 pounds. So I think buying three of these and translating to dollars, Andrew was a little bit surprised. But I think that it's really cute and really well made, and it'll be a nice little memory on our Christmas tree next year. And then something else that we got, now I didn't get this in London, but I did order it while we were on our trip, so it came when we got home. I've never been much of this trend, but when I saw this one, I thought it was really cute, and it reminded me of Cooper, even though he's a little bit lighter now. It's still kind of the color he was when we got him. And this is a Lululemon, I call it a fanny pack. I don't know what anyone else calls it, but I've always called them fanny packs, even though everybody kind of wears them like this now versus around your waist. But this is a small version of their brown fluffy fanny pack. Now I actually just used this yesterday to go to work, so I just put it over like this. Like I said, I really tried to avoid this trend, but I couldn't say no to this fluffy little fanny pack, so I ended up picking this up, and it's actually super useful. You know, if you're going for a dog walk or just running out to the store and you don't necessarily need to bring a handbag, this is really easy to just pick up and go. And I think I will obviously just use it over the winter and fall season and pack it away during the summer. Last but not least, I really want to share the coat that I was wearing in London. So I picked up this coat actually in Pull & Bear in Portugal in one of the malls that we went there. And I ended up leaving, so I brought a coat with me from Florida. I ended up leaving that at my parents' house because I did not have enough room to carry that coat plus this new coat that I purchased. I did end up buying it, and I love it. Obviously I live in Florida, so I'm not really sure how many times I'm gonna be wearing this, but I know that if we go on trips in the winter, anywhere we go, I know that it'll be my go-to coat. So let me grab it. So this is the coat. I couldn't believe how much it was. It was literally only 50 euros. I feel like if I bought this in America, it probably would have been $100. So it is almost like a teddy coat kind of vibe, like the Max Mara teddy coats. It has 2 buttons here, and then I love the detail of the pocket with the little flap and just the color. And it is so cozy. I felt really warm the entire day that we were in London, and obviously it was quite cold and windy, but I really love the length of it as well and the details. It's a really nice coat. I feel like I maybe need to take it to the dry cleaners to get cleaned because I always feel a little bit weird. I brought it on the plane. I feel like it always gets like germs or something when you bring clothing onto the plane. So maybe I'll get it dry cleaned, but I really love it. I think it's a really cute style. I could not say no. Yeah, that is what I got while we were on this trip. Now let's get into my ins and outs of 2024. So I've written everything down because I am not one of those people that can remember everything off the top of my head. So my first in that I feel like a lot of people do is exercise or movement. Now I'm not looking to get in the gym and go hardcore 7 days a week, but I definitely want to get a little bit more movement in this year. That is anything from dog walking. Now when we were in October, I actually ended up walking Cooper every morning for like an hour. So I got in a really nice habit of doing that. And then as the holiday season got closer and I got quite busy at work and we had other things going on, that kind of went to the wayside. So I definitely want to bring that back in. The last 2 days since I've been feeling better, I have been taking him for quite a long walk in the morning, which is really nice. And then just kind of getting back into the gym. Like I said, I'm not looking to get big, buff, and tough, but I think it's always nice to get your body moving. And then we also have a really nice sauna at our gym. You can probably hear the recycling getting picked up in the background, but we have a really nice sauna in our gym, so I definitely want to use that every time that I go as well. I've read a lot about really great benefits by using the sauna, and I actually went in yesterday and felt really good after being sick. I felt like it was quite refreshing. Something else that I'm doing this year is less alcohol. I feel like that's a really trendy thing going on right now, but we are doing dry January. Not because we drink too much alcohol or we need to stop, but just for something to challenge ourselves with. We do find that when we go out for dinner, for instance, we are always buying a drink or two, and it can get quite expensive. I feel like cocktails nowadays run at like $16, $18, sometimes $20, depending where you go, at least here in Florida. So it really can add up on your bill, and we are just kind of trying to cut it out here and there at home as well. Maybe not drinking as much. I think other than the exception of celebrating New Year's, maybe today or tomorrow, we will not be drinking in January. I think it's just a nice little challenge to kind of see how far you can go. And like I said, I don't know if we'll do it forever, but I think it's just a fun little challenge to start the new year. Other really big important thing that I'm gonna be working on this year is spending less. So on top of doing dry January, I'm also doing no spend January. I saw recently on YouTube a lot of people are doing no spend for the entire year. I don't know if I could make it that far, but I am challenging myself this month to not spend unless I absolutely have to. So that would be things like grocery shopping or just restocking things that we are using that I absolutely need. I think the only thing that I've so far purchased, although we're only 5 days in, is fluffy socks. Now, sounds like not a necessity, but I have socks from literally like 7th grade that are no longer fluffy, that have holes in them. So I did just order myself a few new pairs of fluffy socks, but it's necessity. It's cold outside. I need fluffy socks. So other than that, I haven't bought anything. I've really stopped looking on apps on my phone. You know, I used to find myself browsing on like Anthropologie for their Christmas sales and things like that, and I have really stopped myself from doing that the last few days. I've kind of categorized all the shopping apps into one little collection on my phone so that they're not right then and there and I'm not really looking at them, and I think that that will help me as well by not spending for things that I don't necessarily need. I am also looking forward to going on a little bit more date nights. That could be with Andrew or just going out on some fun nights with friends as well. I want us to get a little bit more creative. You know, we will always just go out for a drink or go out to dinner, but we recently went and saw a comedy show at the Dr. Phillips Performance Arts Center here in Orlando and really enjoyed it. And they have shows year-round, from comedy to musicals to ballet to things like that, so we think it would be really fun to book some of those for the year. I know they have Moulin Rouge coming up, so we definitely want to go check that out. There is Clue that they've turned into a musical, I believe, or show that we want to check out during the summer, and just a few other things just to kind of spruce things up and get a little bit more creative. And kind of jump out of the box of just going out to dinner or drinks. So the next thing is reading. Now, this last year in 2023, I set the goal to read 10 books. It definitely didn't reach 10. I think I read 7 off the top of my head. I'll have to do a count, but I think I got to 7. This year, I am setting the goal of 15. Now, I have my Kindle and I have a few books here as well that I'm going to be reading, and just trying to set aside a little bit more time for reading, a little bit more downtime whenever, you know, maybe you're not working anymore and it's in the evening. You would usually go and grab your phone and scroll, maybe just taking 10-15 minutes to read a few pages of a chapter of a book, just to kind of create that habit again. I feel like I go in and out of that habit, and I can spend a whole weekend reading 3 books and then I can spend 6 months not picking up a book. So just kind of creating that habit again and reading books that I enjoy. Some other things that I want to do this year is travel. We obviously traveled a lot this past year, but we have a few big places that we want to check out this year as well. We are obviously going to the Taylor Swift concert in Portugal in May, so I'm super excited for that. We need to kind of narrow down our trip and decide where else we want to go while we're over there. And then we're also looking to check out Asia this year. So we have a friend that's stationed in Singapore, so we are going to go check out that area and see him for a few days, and we're kind of trying to map out where else we will go on that trip as well. So just popping in a few trips here and there. We haven't really traveled the States much recently, so it'd be nice to maybe check out a state or two as well. We love traveling. That's where we would like to spend our money, so we will be spending the month of January kind of mapping out our year and deciding where we want to go and what we want to do. My last thing that's on my list is setting a word of the year. Now, this is something that I've seen trending last year, and a lot more people are doing it this year, where you're selecting one word that you're gonna live by for the entire year. It can be quite hard to pick one word. I've seen people that have picked a few, maybe 2 or 3 words to live by. My word this year is slow. I am a very fast-paced person. I want things done immediately. I do things immediately. Everything kind of has to be done quite fast. I don't like sitting on something. It could be as simple as getting a package and I need to open it immediately. I can't let it sit there for 3 days. I have to open it and use it, wear it, whatever. Just things like that, where I kind of want to remind myself to just slow down a little bit. Things don't need to be done immediately. I don't need to finish a project immediately. I learned that over this year with doing our laundry room and our bathroom. Those are the types of projects that I'd want done immediately within the week. Everything's turned around and we have a new laundry room. But I learned that it actually takes a lot longer than that, and patience is key, and the result will show that. So that is something that I'm going to be carrying into 2024 as well. Just slowing down, being a little bit more conscious of everything around me and how I am working and living. Now for outs, a few quick outs that I want to get rid of this year. I only wrote down a few because I really wanted to focus on ins. So the first one is mindless scrolling. I feel like that's probably on literally everyone's list. I actually just recently deleted TikTok. So I only have Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, I believe, on my phone. And Facebook I really just use for like Facebook Marketplace. So the 2 key social media platforms I have then is Instagram and Pinterest. So I'm really trying to narrow down the mindless scrolling and just putting my phone to the side, especially at nighttime. Instead of scrolling my phone at nighttime, I could be reading a book, or we could just chat, or I literally just go to sleep. So that's on the top of the list. The second option, the second out is one-sided relationships or toxic relationships. So I think the older that you get, the more you realize that not everybody is in your life forever. Some people are in it for a reason. It's like that quote, what is it? Reason, season, forever, or whatever. This year, I definitely have felt that. I think as we've gotten older and our lives are changing, people are getting married, having kids, some people are still single, all those sort of things. Everyone's just in different paths of their life. We are just finding that sometimes you're a little bit more in the relationship than the other person or vice versa. So I'm definitely going to be pushing that out this year. I really just want to focus on the people who are in our lives for a reason, that give us the same amount of energy that we give them, and so on. And the last thing on my list is procrastination. Now, I feel like I am quite a fast-paced person. I do like to get things done when I have it right in front of me, but then at the same time, if I don't enjoy it and I don't want to do it, then I am taking my sweet time to complete that project, task, or whatever it is. So I definitely want to focus on that a little bit more, not procrastinate as much as I have done in the past. That can be anything from work or even laundry. I feel like if you put it in the dryer and you know it's gonna end, pull it out and do the clothes. If I leave it there, then I'll leave it there for 3 days. So just little things like that where I can just change to have a better lifestyle, and just work on with myself. So those are my ins and outs of 2024. Just a quick brief run through, nothing fancy, nothing crazy, just little things that we can work on. I am going to end this video here. I'm super excited for the rest of the year. I am going to try to upload every week and become more active on this platform. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!